Welcome to the Patch Podcast, the place where sports, recreation, and entertainment collide. From the biggest headlines to the stories nobody else is talking about, this is the show that covers it all. Now, here's your host, bringing the heat. Welcome to the Patch.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to episode 17 of the Patch Podcast. Alongside Rich, Bart, I am Moog. Today, we have special guest, head football coach of the West Frankfort Redbirds, Coach Brian Beery, and assistant coach Chad Spence. Gentlemen, welcome to the Patch Podcast.
Thanks for having us.
Yeah, thanks for having us.
We are looking forward to the season.
Yep.
I know there's a lot of excitement talking around the town about this team. 20 seniors this year, returning 20. Just to get things started nice and simple, just tell us a little bit about yourselves and your history with football, where you're from, and start with you, Coach Beery.
Well, I grew up in Indiana. I played football at a school named Jimtown. I played for the second most winningest coach in Indiana history, and the number one rated winning coach was at a parochial school. So yeah, we won a state championship my junior year. I learned a lot from him. Football had a huge impact on my life. And then I ended up moving to Southern Illinois because of a girl. And
it happens.
Yes, yes.
That's the way it always is. It's always
That's
for
why
a
I'm
girl.
in Benton.
Yep.
And that's why my son actually moved to Kansas to go to college for a girl, and they broke up 2 weeks before school started.
That is a tough one.
Well, then I ended up, my first teaching job was at Pinckneyville, taught there for 2 years. And then I decided to get into coaching football, coached there for 2 years. And then after that, I went to Johnston City. There was a position that was open there, coached under Mike Rood for probably somewhere around 6-7 years. I became the head coach there, was the head coach there for 3 years. And then Bill Glodich reached out to me and kind of recruited me to come to West Frankfort. And I've been here ever since.
You said you were in Pinckneyville?
Yeah.
How long ago was that?
Ooh.
Was Mike Cheek athletic director at the time?
He was there. I think he was still a teacher.
So Mike's my
then.
cousin.
Okay.
So, yeah.
When you guys will find out that Rich and Bart are related
to everybody.
Almost everybody.
Oh, yeah, I got family in Pinckneyville, too.
Well, he's my dad's cousin.
See, we just want to make sure that the family trees don't cross.
No, they don't fork very well. Glad to hear that. I didn't know that about you, about being from Indiana. That's pretty awesome to be on a team like that and have the coaching that you had growing up. What about you, Chad? I've known you for a long time, but you've been around a while.
That's right. I always lived here in West Frankfort. I played in the late 80s. I graduated in 90 there, but so I played quarterback, fullback, and linebacker here. We didn't have we didn't have a whole lot of winning seasons back then. I walked on and played 1 year at Murray State and realized that I was too small, too slow to play at that level. So I came back here, but that really kind of fueled the fire as far as coaching, realizing that we in Southern Illinois here may be a little bit behind times as far as some of the guys, let's say I played with from Texas or Florida. I mean, they knew a lot more football than what I did. So that kind of fueled that fire to try to learn and then started coaching at the youth level there for about 4 or 5 years. And I think it was 80 or 98 or 99. Moved up to the high school level and coached under Coach Ken Joggers 1 year, did a freshman. And then Coach Jeff Rush came to town, took over, kind of brought a spread offense that a bunch of us never thought would ever work. And
I remember when that came over, I was like, what is this?
World going to get that snap back there every time, but it did, and we kind of turned things around there and had a pretty successful season there in 02. Then he left, and I became the head coach here for about 8 years, and then Coach Beery took over after that, and I went to Johnson City. We kind of swapped the roles there for a few years, and here we are. Started coaching. I got out of it probably for about 3 or 4 years, and kind of started coaching youth football again, kind of followed this group of seniors, which is my son's class. When he started, was able to play, in third grade. And I said, hey, I'll coach you if you want to play, not going to force you. And he really liked it. And a really good group of boys. And I've been able to follow them all the way through from third grade till now. And it's been a lot of fun.
Chad, you're 3 years behind me then, because I still feel like with all our guests, I'm always the oldest person on this podcast.
You're old. You are old.
I guess, but I was around for the 86 team as the manager, and we all know Bart was the mascot for that year. But Chad, that would have been your freshman year, I guess, right?
Yes. That was a great football team. Learned a lot. Pretty good buddies with Dwayne Summers. He helped me when I went to walk on there at Murray. Trained with him for a summer there. We were pretty good buddies, and then while I was coaching, he was at Heron, so we bounced a lot of ideas off each other 8 weeks out of the year, except the
Yeah.
week that we played those guys. And he was a heck of a football coach and heck of a player as well.
It's interesting because back in the day, I don't know how many trainers or managers you have now, but in '86, we were looking back recently. I was it for like 40 guys. I was it. So it kept me running around. And back in the '80s, the parachute pants era, I would carry cleats, scissors, tape, and all kinds of stuff in the parachute pants during timeouts or whatever injuries. You're like, somebody gets cramped, you got to get the Tiger Bomb or something. And back then you didn't have the rubber gloves and all that stuff. So it's like, oh, bring it out. So
something tells me with you going to the Boys to Men concert and the New Kids on the Block concert, you still have those pants somewhere, don't you?
What? Absolutely. No, I don't. But thanks for bringing that up. But see,
no problem.
He's going to Hanson at Walker's Bluff soon, too.
Nice.
No, wrong. Now, even though I was on the radio at CIL, just because they played them Bop, I'm not going to their concert. So see Chad and Brian, see what they do.
The years of coaching experience that this team has is just phenomenal. Can you tell us all the coaches that are on the team?
Well, we've got myself, Chad Spence, and like Chad just said, he's been coaching for a long time. Marcus Chance, who's been coaching for a long time. Let's see, we got my son, Brandon Beery, who's a strength coach at West Frankfort. He's been coaching probably for around 7 years now. He got started young. He really enjoys it. Then we've got Ryan Patton, who played at SIU, West Frankfort and all that.
Yep.
He's been coaching for a while. Let's see here. I know I'm going to forget him, but this year we brought on the Kinsmans, AJ Kinsman and Josh Kinsman. AJ brings a tremendous amount of fire with him. The kids really enjoy being coached by him. Josh brings experience with the O-line. Brought on 2 more coaches this year. Adam, how do you say his last name? Licata. He's, I think this is probably his 4th year of coaching. He was kind of a DB's coach in Lawrenceville there for a while. Randy, I don't even know how to pronounce his last name.
Galileo.
Yeah, but he's
Gallegos, I think.
Yeah, that's it.
Okay.
This is his first year ever coaching. Those 2 are coaching the freshmen. Oh, we've got Tyler Riddle. I coached him. He graduated with my son. Brock Johnson, coached him as well. He was a few years behind my son. I think he graduated with Connor Eaton's group.
Yeah, I think so.
Okay.
Around there.
Had a good group of kids there.
Yeah. Yep. Who am I leaving out? I know I'm leaving somebody out. We have a total of 11 coaches this year.
Wow.
Yes. Yeah. Last year, that's the biggest thing about coaching West Frankfort. It's so hard to get coaches. There's a lot of people that teach in Frankfort that could coach, but unfortunately they got young kids. So they just don't have the time right now. But as their kids move up, I think they will eventually join the staff. I want to say last year we had right around 7, but only 4 were there every day.
Wow.
Mm-hmm.
It makes a big difference.
It does. I mean, my son was coaching both the freshmen and the sophomores, and we had, me, Chad, and Marcus. We were basically the varsity coaches that were there all the time, and Coach Patton comes whenever defense is up. So it's rough trying to coach as many kids as what we have. And this year we added 4 new coaches, and they've been a tremendous help. We've got 2 dedicated to the freshmen. We've got 2 dedicated to the sophomores, and then we've got the others some of them, they come maybe twice a week, maybe 3 times a week, depending on their work schedule. But they've been a tremendous help this year.
That's awesome. You can kind of split them up a little bit better and into more groups and some more one-on-one type stuff. And yeah, that's good to hear.
Yes.
Now this senior group, let's talk about them for a minute. Is this the same group that was undefeated up until last season?
Yes.
Through 8th grade or 7th grade or something all the way up?
Undefeated as 8 freshmen and sophomores, and then a lot of them had to play at the varsity level, and we've lost a few there, but they've made the playoffs and they got a lot of experience.
We're expecting big things from them, but I also can see the difference. I was talking to Coach Kinsman when he was on the show. We were talking to him. You can just see a different feel with this team than we have seen in past years. I know we haven't seen you play yet, but he talked about the togetherness that you guys seem to have at practices and kids buying into the system. How early in their football career should they start buying in? Do you guys start this same offense when they're young? I mean, is it same thing?
We didn't run it as eighth graders, but we've been running, of course, the same offense since freshmen. They started lifting as eighth graders, and a lot of those guys would come over if they didn't have a basketball game throughout the winter time. Brandon does a great job in the weight room with those guys, and they've bought into the weight room ever since their eighth grade year.
Yeah, I think this team has definitely really worked hard from the time they were eighth graders. They really impressed me. I've never had so many kids lift in the off season. Great group of kids, very well motivated. They're definitely a pleasure to be around. And I think one of the reasons we have such a good feel at practice this year is because of their senior leadership. It's easy for a freshman to kind of blow things off if they don't have leadership above them. So these freshmen, these sophomores, they see these seniors there at practice every day. So then they realize I need to be at practice every day.
So coming into this year, what do you foresee to be the biggest challenge? I know last year on the couple of games I attended and tried to watch as many games as I could, there were some real big challenges on defense, especially against the pass. Do you see that to be your biggest challenge, or do you see that to be one of the biggest areas that you're focusing on coming into the season?
Well, a lot of people don't know the depth that we were dealing with last year, but we only had 5 seniors, and I think 2 of the 5 were first year players. So the defensive back position, we literally had 3 corners and 2 safeties, and one of the safeties was a sophomore. So we were very young, and one of the corners was our quarterback. So obviously he's not coming off the field on offense. So that was definitely a struggle for us last year. We got a little bit more depth this year, but we could be starting all seniors in our secondary this year. So I'm hoping their experience and the fact that they've learned from their mistakes last year really is going to help us this year.
Yeah, there was just a couple plays last year that I can remember giving up those big plays and trying not to do that and keeping them contained. And those big plays sometimes just take the air out of a good run.
Yeah.
Well, they do for sure. But, like Coach said, these same kids, a lot of these kids have had to play. This is their third year now in that secondary. And yes, they've taken a few beatings, and they wasn't necessarily the bigger of the group getting physically manhandled sometimes on a Friday night. But these kids, like I said, they worked in the weight room. They learned from their mistakes. And I think it'll be a lot better crew you'll see out there this year.
You see a difference on how physical they are at practice already?
I think 100%. Yeah, for sure.
I see it across from the
Yeah,
cross
you
street.
say you hear it from here, don't you?
I do. I hear them sleds popping. Didn't hear that much last year. I've got goosebumps right now talking about it. I'm ready.
One of the things that we talked about last year going into the season was we had to play with more discipline and we had to play with more violence. And they were playing as sophomores and they were doing the best they could. Then as juniors, we talked about it. We still struggled with discipline, and I thought we struggled with playing with extreme violence at times. And it was funny because when Coach Kinsman came on and asked if he could join the staff, he did, and I gave him access to our huddle, and he watched the films. And first thing he said to me, or the first 2 things, he goes, "This team has got to play with more discipline and more violence." And I was like, that was our theme last year. That's our theme this year. So it's funny that we're seeing the exact same thing. And I think as seniors, you definitely learn to play with a lot more violence than you do as juniors or sophomores. You just see it.
It's a maturity thing. As kids mature a little bit more, they understand the game more, they understand the plays more, the more confident they are. And then it's like, okay, I get it now. Now I'm going to go out and punish someone.
And you've got some really good young men on your team too. And some of them may be like, I don't want to hurt somebody, but you don't. But you got to get that in their head that, hey, if you don't try to run somebody over, they're going to run you over. It's either you or them.
It's a contact violence sport.
It
And
is.
those kids are, like I said, they're getting more and more physical, I think, every day.
Yeah, it's not golf.
It's not golf, but it's not personal. It's business. It's football business. If they can separate the two, hey, after the game, you hug it out. You're still friends. Some of them you may know from town to town, with Southern Illinois being so small. When the whistle's blowing, you got to go out and do your thing.
West Frankfort, I think, is coming into one of the top conferences in Southern Illinois this year. And the River, Mississippi is absolutely loaded with you guys,
Unbelievable.
DuQuoin, Nashville, Benton. You never know about Anna. Anna's rebuilding, but
New coach.
new coach. You're starting off your non-conference schedule with Massac County coming up this Friday. As we know, last year we went to Massac and took care of business, but Massac can always surprise you. It's what's kind of your game plan going on this week?
Their coach, it seemed like from what we saw last year and football. You hear throughout the off season, they're trying to get the program built back up, a lot of energy. And they've got a couple kids that, they can score from anywhere on the field. The one kid had 2 or 3 touchdowns on us last year. He's back. You see stuff on the internet. He's going to camps or whatever. So you definitely got athletes down there for sure.
Yeah, I think that's the key. I'll echo what he said. They definitely have a lot of skills. We got to make sure that we keep them contained. We don't let them outside. So we're going to have to keep them in front of us and make sure that we make them drive the field and not have a bunch of big plays. I think our biggest asset is our overall team strength. I think we're pretty strong for a high school football team.
Moving on, week 2, home again with our 4 home games this year. We got Heron at home.
Don't they have a new coach too?
Last year,
Last year, that's right.
This will be his second year, I believe. They always have good athletes as far as like other sports. I know the football's kind of been down the last year or two. They've got 700 something kids in their high school. So they got some guys out there walking the halls, and who knows if they've got them out. And I listened to the coach interview a couple weeks ago, and he's talking about how they bought into the weight room. So they're definitely up and coming, and they'll get back on top eventually. I just hope it's not this year.
Chad, you remember when Frankfort was that large back in high school?
Oh, when we were in school, Moog, we were about 750 kids or so.
Absolutely. We had tons of kids. Johnson Field was packed. So again, the school may be smaller, but we want to get fans out there and pack Johnson Field for sure. And we'll be
100%.
talking more about that a little bit later on this podcast in hopes to help with that effort.
Then we go into week 3 at Chester, because we know last year was a tough home game, and some of their fans still think that could have went the other way. Chester, I know, lost some people from last year, but Chester's always tough.
They do a really good job down there, and that's one thing. Their kids will be nasty, whether it's an up year or a down year. You could expect a physical football game out of them. So it'll definitely be a good game with them, especially at their place. We used to play there when I was at Pinckneyville. Chester was on our schedule, and they just entered the Black Diamond my last year there. Chester's always been a good football school. The kids work hard. So it'll definitely be a good physical game.
You got a tough schedule this year, that's for sure. That's 3 of your non-conference games. Then we move into conference at home versus Pinckneyville. I'm assuming that one or the next one will be homecoming game. I don't know if you got
18th is homecoming.
We got Pinckneyville at home week 4.
Yeah, their style offense, they run a version of the flex bone. So it's a downhill offense. Again, another physical offense. I understand that their star receiver moved to DeCoin, and that was probably one of their key weapons. Last year, we'd get them in a 3rd and 8, 3rd and 9, and they just throw the ball to that kid, and he'd get the 9 yards that they needed because he was 6'5", 6'6", and he was tough to stop. It'll be a good physical game. Last year when we played them, both teams got pretty banged up as a result of that game.
Then we move into what I call the big 3 on the schedule. We got Nashville up next, be a homecoming game. Nashville, as we know, every year is contending for a playoff spot.
Really good program. Those coaches do a great job up there. They run a real fast-paced offense, which puts your defense in a bind, trying to get your calls and adjustments in. And like you said, they're very good every year. This is a real good senior class, too. They didn't have a whole lot of seniors last year. We came into that game kind of banged up, and they put one on us pretty good up there. So these kids realize that, and they want a little revenge for sure.
And then next we've got what I'm kind of looking forward to, revenge on DuQuoin. That was a tough one last year.
Excuse my language. That game pissed me off.
You know what? I want revenge from 40 years ago. Thank you very much.
There you go.
DeCoin, it was a heck of a game. It was definitely one of my hardest losses I think I've ever had to deal with as a head coach. I really struggled with that one. I felt like it was a game that slipped through our hands, but that's why you play the game. We couldn't finish, and they ended up getting us.
That happens. That's why we play 4 quarters all the way to the end. And then you got at Benton. I know a lot of guys are looking forward to that one as well. Benton still going to have some talent, but I think they've lost some players from last year. A lot of seniors graduated, but Benton and Frankfort, you never know what's going to happen with that game.
That's true. I mean, they got a good program up there. Coach Groves and I are buddies, and great coaching staff, and they'll have them ready to play no matter what kind of talent they've got, which they'll be talented. I know I've heard they're going to be down, but they've still got several good players coming back, and that quarterback's a heck of an athlete. I mean, we had him a few times last year. Coach Patton dialed up a couple pretty good blitzes, and he would give himself a little extra time and find somebody down the field. So he extends plays and he makes it rough on the defense for sure.
Benton did a pretty good job. They got a few move-ins too. So they got one of Johnson City's running backs. They got another running back from Mount Vernon. So they've lost some kids, but they've managed to fill those ranks with some new ones.
Is that part of the NIL? They just transfer portal.
Don't get me started on that stuff.
I didn't move that much in college. I went to school in Carbondale. I lived in like 3 places: Lewis Park Apartments, a trailer, and the dorms. That was it.
I'm a big believer in coaching what you got, and I'm going to play the guys that are there that have been in Frankfort for 4 years. I really enjoy Frankfort kids, and going back to this senior class, I credit Coach Spence with doing a great job of getting to know the kids as they were coming up. He knows the families. If kid misses practice, I'll tell Chad, I'll be like, he's not here today. And he'll be like, oh, I'll call his dad. I'm friends with his dad. And I'm like, that is awesome.
Yeah, it's good when you can have that relationship and kick them in the butt a little bit.
And it's helped our numbers. I think with them having a little success, way back when and working their way up through that, it's brought some, kids from, the class behind them or a couple of classes behind. This is the most numbers I think we've had in a long time.
Yeah.
Yeah. We had, I think it was 88 kids signed up, and that's one thing to sign a piece of paper. It's another thing to show up, but I think we're still right around 70. That's
really good.
From the past numbers, this is an awesome number.
We were just talking about 40 years ago, right, Bart? And we were talking about what, like 36
No,
players?
I think there was we left almost
39.
40. I think it was 39.
Yeah, 39.
And that's juniors and seniors only.
Yeah, junior, seniors only, 39.
17 juniors and the rest seniors.
Yeah.
Who'd you have for math?
Today's Sunday. Mr. Stritzel.
39 total. We were looking at that, and it's just amazing that now you have 70 kids that are locked in, coming together, learning what it takes, and we are super, super excited for this season.
Yeah.
So if there's one thing you could tell the fans to say, hey, come on out, enjoy the game live, what would you tell the fans?
I'll tell you, the first game of the year is going to be big for us. We didn't have a scrimmage or a week 0 game like we did in the past where the price of admission was a sports drink. We're trying to get it out there that you have to pay price of admission, but if you could bring a sports drink for the kids, the boys really appreciate that. It's a morale boost where they come in from a hot practice and Lord knows it's been hot. They can grab a Gatorade. We'll stock the refrigerator full of Gatorade, and it's really good for the kids. So if the people coming out, if they could just bring a sports drink and drop it off at the gate, that would be awesome. All those Gatorades will go to the kids.
Well, I'm going to say right now that I'm going to guarantee a case of sports drinks from the Patch Podcast right here on the show.
100%.
Awesome.
Yep.
Thank you guys.
Yep.
Awesome.
100%.
I think we could tell the fans that they're going to see a competitive football every Friday night. We've talked about our schedule here, and it's a tough one. Every team that you play that could beat you. You have a turnover or two, and some really good teams, and most of those teams that we've talked about so far are going to end up being playoff teams. But I think these kids are going to compete, and they're going to fight, bite, scratch, whatever they got to do, and that's all we can ask.
Do you think these kids feel any kind of pressure? Or do you feel like they're pretty relaxed at practice and just ready to go?
Well, there's definitely pressure. We've talked about it a little bit, but they're all buddies, and they just got a little confidence
That's
now,
good.
and it's kind of rolling, and hopefully they don't think about that on a Friday night.
Yeah,
They're definitely excited for the season.
Yeah.
They're ready for it to begin.
They're not the only ones, not only us at the Patch Podcast. I've talked to a lot of people in town, and they're looking forward to see what this team can do. Hopefully not just make the playoffs, get a couple wins.
Yeah, we've only got 4 home games. We want more after after the regular season.
Southern Illinois poll.
Oh, yeah, I saw that too.
A little disrespect.
No,
so let's put that on our backs and show these people what we're all about.
I don't agree with it, but I kind of like it. It's like under the radar.
It's like bulletin board postings, right?
Yep.
Put that up on the bulletin board, stick it on a screen with the internet. I guess since I'm old enough, there are no newspapers left. Make it a motivator. I say this to the fans, come on out, enjoy the atmosphere. Enjoy what it used to be like to come out on a Friday night, realizing it's going to be hot still, but come on out, enjoy the game live at Johnson Field. It's like an atmosphere unlike any other. So come to West Frankfort. If you're a fan that's moved away, come on back. Check the West Frankfort Redbirds out live August 21st for game number 1 at Johnson Field.
I think you and Moog were talking about this is 40 years, right? Since the team,
86, yeah.
The 86 team. How cool would that be to do kind of what they did? Most coaches you talk to set goals before the season. You guys have any goals what you want to accomplish this season?
You want to win them all.
That's always the goal, is to win them all. My philosophy has always been to try to win the games that you should, win the games that are a toss-up, and win half the games you shouldn't. So looking at our schedule, there's a lot of tough games, but we might be able to move a lot of those into the toss-up column. So we're going to definitely fight and scratch every game that we can to try to get as many wins as we can. Injuries are the only thing that we really got to keep an eye on, not making excuses about the Nashville game, but we went into that game with half the starting offense out.
I remember that.
And that was rough. Like I said, I'm not making excuses because Nashville's coaching staff is really good. I'm really impressed by what they do. And they got a bunch of blue-collar kids that work hard and show up to practice. So, but yeah, that's going to be the key thing, I think. I think we've got the potential to be good, but potential has never won anything, right?
Right.
You've got to be able to perform on Friday nights.
Win the conference. We always talk about winning the conference. If you can win this conference, man, you've done something. It's a tall task for sure. But like I said, we're going to take one at a time and just see how it falls.
With the playoff teams extended this year, we shouldn't have a problem with playoff points. I guarantee you that.
No, not by strength of schedule.
So
for sure.
what's your thoughts about IHSA extending the playoffs?
Well, I was kind of for it, kind of against it, going back and forth. I was kind of in favor of it because there was two ways it was going to happen. Either they were going to go with an 8-game regular season with an extended playoff as your week 9, and I was in favor of that. I don't know how I feel about having a 9-season regular season and then turn around and have an extended playoff. But the 8-game season kind of made sense to me because if you're 0-8, you're probably ready for your season to be done at week 9. You know,
You're right.
But
Well, I will say this, Coach. The year before the class of '86, I was the manager in '85. We were 0-9.
Yeah.
So, what are your favorite all-time top 5 sports movies?
Remember the Titans definitely has got to be in there. I really enjoyed that one.
yep, yeah. Remember the Titans.
It can be from any sport. Well, it can go football or any other sport that you like.
Well, since I'm from Indiana, you got to go with Rudy.
I knew that was coming out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Rudy, I knew that was coming.
That's a good one.
Yep.
Hoosiers is a good one.
Yep.
Hoosiers is
Yeah.
a good one.
Yep. That was our number one, was Hoosiers. I think Rudy was top 3 for us, I believe.
I actually went to a Notre Dame game when they played in Michigan in 2012, and Rudy was signing autographs in the library.
That's
Was
pretty
he
cool.
really?
I took a picture of him. I got rid of that phone. I have no pictures no more.
Yeah, those are some good ones, though.
Well, guys, we really appreciate you taking the time to join the Patch Podcast today. And again, reminder for everyone, if you go to the game, and we definitely suggest that you do, you have your chance to win the Big Red Army shirt. If you can see here on the screen, Bart, if you want to stand up and face the camera for us, the Big Red Army shirt that Bart is wearing on the screen, you will have your chance to win one of 4 every home game this season. So again, fans, show up, go to the game. You will have your chance to win one of 4. 4 shirts will be given out every home game this season at Johnson Field from the Patch Podcast.
That's a good looking shirt.
Yeah, I will say this to the fans. And one thing I can guarantee you if you do come to the game is you're going to see a team that has no quit in them. They've worked too hard to get where they're at right now. Can't promise victories every weekend, but I can definitely promise you that it's going to be a physical game and we're going to be competitive throughout the game.
I want to see a crowd every home game, and I see a lot of teams that travel well too. Hey, don't be afraid to travel with this team either. Go to all of them. So support your Redbirds. Going to be fun to watch this year. They were fun last year, and this year is going to be even better. I can see it. We appreciate you guys. Frankfort is blessed to have good coaches in all the sports that we have, and I say especially this football team. I mean, all the years of coaching, all the years of playing, the knowledge. It's great to see a group like this that buys in and that respects their coaches, and they all have one common goal, and that's to win. We appreciate you guys coming by.
Well, thanks for having us.
Yeah, thanks for having
Again,
us.
a reminder to the fans, August 21st at 7:30, live at Johnson Field. First game, West Frankfort versus Massac County. Come on out in droves. We want to see you live at Johnson Field. And that about does it for episode 17. I want to thank Coach Brian Beery and Coach Chad Spence for coming on by the podcast today. So for Rich, for Bart, I am Moog. Thanks again for joining us on the Patch Podcast.
That's a wrap for today's episode of the Patch Podcast. Thanks for listening. If you enjoyed the show, subscribe, share it, and tell a friend. Until next time, stay active, stay entertained, and we'll see you back here in the Patch.